Yo, it's IbetOnMe. So everyone's out here debating the new meta, running the same 3 guns they ran last season, dying on damage phases solo, and wondering why they keep wiping and never figuring out why. So I'm cutting the cap. The Peacekeeper Titan build right now is one of the most slept on DPS setups in Destiny 2 Renegades. 100% damage boost to SMGs, infinite ammo loop, Thundercrash on tap, and if you're running solo and you don't have this, you're trolling yourself on every single boss fight. So let's talk about it. Now starting with the exotic Peacekeepers. These are the boots. And before you ask why boots and not a chest piece or a helmet, let me explain clearly what this thing actually does. Now the Peacekeepers auto reload your equipped SMG when you stow it. See, that's the baseline. But the real juice is the accelerated assault perk, which extends your reload window so you're basically never standing still waiting on ammo. So you pull the trigger, you stow, you swap. You're back on target before most builds have even finished their reload animation. And on top of that, when you're running a SMG with the Peacekeepers active, you're looking at 100% damage bonus. Not 20, not 35, 100%. See, that's not a stat, that's war crimes. And if you're running this thing solo, see, you have to understand, this is just not a flex build. On every damage phase, you are the operation. So you don't need a tether hunter, no dev lock, no teammate covering the debuff. So you are handling every single layer yourself. And the Peacekeepers let you do exactly that. Alright, so the SMG you want is the M17 Fast Talker. This drops from the Lawless Frontier Renegade activities. If you like hitting crits and watching health bars evaporate in a single burst, this is your gun. And the reason Fast Talker works so well here is because of the perk synergy with the Peacekeeper loop. See, you're not looking for a workhorse gun that does everything average. You need high uptime, consistent crit damage, and a frame that doesn't fight your rotation. The Fast Talker gives you all 3. Also, make sure you run perks that helps with heat reduction, because that extends the window before the SMG overheats, which means you get more shots in before you're forced to stow. That extra 2 to 3 rounds per cycle adds up over a full damage phase, so don't skip it. And for my special weapon, I am using the Eternal 4. And this pairs perfectly with the Titan Peacekeeper build, because you're going to be doing hella massive damage swapping between the Fast Talker and the Eternal 4 for your DPS damage. If you do want to see a guide roll guide for the Eternal 4 for the best perks, hey, that link is in the description. Now go watch that video after you finish this one. Now the Tractor Cannon. In solo, this is non-negotiable. There is no debate. Tractor Cannon is an exotic void shotgun. One hit applies 30% damage vulnerability debuff to whatever you shoot. So that means your Thundercrash hits 30% harder. Your Fast Talker hits 30% harder. Your grenades hit 30% harder. Everything inside that debuff window is amplified. Now in the fire team, someone else might be running Divinity or a Tether, and that debuff is already covered. But solo, no one is doing it for you. So you do it for yourself. Simple math. Now you're not shooting the Tractor Cannon because it does great damage. You're shooting it because it makes the next weapon disgusting. See, one shot on the boss, stow immediately, get into your rotation before the window closes. See, that's the entire job. However, there is one thing to watch with the Tractor Cannon. Some bosses get knocked back on the hit, so that repositions them out of the SMG range right before your window opens. So that's the problem. Now, most raid bosses are immune to the push anyway, so the vulnerability debuff still applies, regardless of the knockback, but now you're a counter before you commit. Now for your subclass, you're going with Arc. For the super, you're going with Thundercrash. That's the non-negotiable on this build. The whole rotation is built around timing your Thundercrash spike inside the SMG loop. And for your aspects, you want Touch of Thunder and also Knockout. Now Touch of Thunder buffs your grenade duration and power. And on this build, that means your lightning grenade are doing actual work, not just tickling. And Knockout give you health regen on melee kills, so on high-end encounters, you're not popping recovery mods and hoping. You're staying alive through aggression. And for your fragments, we have 4 of them. The first one is going to be Spark of Resistance. So you're going to have damage resistance when surrounded. You're also going to be in close range on some of the bosses. And sometimes you're going to be solo, so there's no one to pick you up. So this is going to help keep you alive. Next is Spark of Shock, which is going to jolt targets on grenade hits. Now that's going to give you free extra damage on every grenade grenade hit that you hit a target with. Next, Spark of Magnitude. Now the longer the grenade duration is going to pair directly with the touch of thunder, so you're going to have more uptime, which is going to give you more arc ticks. Last is Spark of Frequency. Now this is going to help you with your reload and stability bonus. Now it's going to feed directly into your SMG uptime, so don't overthink this. And let me be very clear, this isn't a build where you're spamming melee trying to proc knockout in a boss encounter. So treat your Thunderclap melee as a panic button. So when you have enemies rushing you, a big champion you need to burst down, that's when you want to use it. But save your Thundercrash for the damage window. Alright, so now let's talk about the stat spread, because this is where most people fumble. And I haven't played a lot on my Titan this season, so this is what I'm shooting for. To maximize this build, try to shoot for 50 class, 150 super, 145 weapon. Those are the 3 targets for this build if you want to optimize it, so it's not optional. Now the 150 super is the one that trips people up the most. Now it sounds like a lot, but it's the threshold your Thundercrash needs to come back fast enough to actually hit multiple damage phases in longer boss fights. And below that number, your rotation starts breaking down in the back half, and if you're solo, see, there's no backup. So if your Thundercrash isn't ready when the window is open, you're eating that phase without your spike, so build correctly. Now the armor loadout showed in this build is built entirely around hitting those 3 stats while keeping flexibility in your mod slots. So don't start with cool looking armor, start with stat numbers, then work backwards to your mods. Speaking of the mods, I'm not going through a whole dissertation on how this stuff works, but I'm mainly going for super and ability regen so I could get those cooldowns faster, and a lot of mods that's going to help me stay alive so I can stand the fight, because I am going to be running solo a lot. Also mods that's going to help feed ammo to my secondary and also my power weapons, and mods and artifacts that's going to help me increase my weapon damage to my kinetic weapon. Also, I'm going to leave a full dim link of this build down below so you could go through it and check it one by one, so that way you could go back and check the mods that you have and compare it to the mods that I'm using in this video. Alright, so here's the gameplay loop. Step 1, drop your barricade before the damage window opens. Not during, before. The barricade is what activates the Peacekeepers mechanic, so instant SMG reload, damage buff on. And you're also generating arc energy for your abilities, so if you're dropping it late, you're already behind. Step 2, track the cannon shot immediately. One hit on the boss, debuff is now active, then stow it. Step 3, Thundercrash immediately. Right now, inside the debuff window. So you have your Peacekeeper's damage buff from the barricade and Tractor Cannon's 30% debuff stacked at the same time. Step 4, the SMG loop. Equip the Fast Talker, fire to near overheat, stow, swap to your secondary, swap back, fire again. Peacekeeper handles the reload in the background. You're never waiting, you're always shooting. Debuff is still ticking. Every round is amplified. Step 5, grenade on cooldown throughout. See, you're not holding your grenade waiting for the perfect moment. For your grenade down, the jolt procs, arc damage ticking. See, it's just extra damage layered on top of the SMG uptime. And that's the full rotation. Barricade, Tractor Cannon, Thundercrash, SMG loop, grenades on cooldown. So running clean and you're putting up numbers solo that most fire teams can't match with one player. See, this is the build doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So here's where I land with this build. This isn't your fun exotic you run 1 week and then forget about. Peacekeepers is a legit top tier DPS setup right now in Destiny 2 Renegades. The 100% damage bonus is real. The infinite ammo loop is real. And if you so happen to be running this solo, it means you're fully self-sufficient every single damage phase. No debuff carry needed. No carry required. But let me be very clear. To get the best out of this build, you need to try to hit those stats that I showed you earlier, especially to get your stats to 150 when it comes to your super, because you want to be getting that Thundercrash as often as possible. And the Fast Talker is your gun, the Tractor Cannon is your debuff. The rotation is tight. If you're planning on running this solo, get it clean in training before you take this into a real encounter. Because when you're running the whole operation solo, fumbling a stow and swap in the middle of a damage phase is one mistake you can't afford. So if you run this build right, it's absolutely disgusting damage, and it's probably illegal in 6 states. Also, drop me a comment down below. Have you used this Peacekeeper build before, or are you running a similar build? And if this video entertained you or helped you, hey, I would definitely appreciate a like, and also sub to the channel if you haven't already. It matters more than you think. And again, I am IbetOnMe, and you should too. I'm out. And if you do want to see more Destiny 2 build breakdowns, I would suggest you watch this playlist next. Also, don't forget to like and sub. You guys have a great day. Peace.